Back, bitches, because we're not done.
We thought we were tired.
Get off.
Off.
No, I was thinking about that.
That's something I saw on Instagram today.
Yeah.
Holding onto the steering wheel.
Yeah, literally.
It's not real.
It's not real. It just hurts because you feel like you're controlling something. There's nothing to be controlled. With what you were just saying, that's what I was thinking about during my trip. Was like the whole time I kept telling myself it has to go this way. I have to feel the same way that I felt before. Akuma. I kept telling myself I have to feel a certain way. Like I know what it feels like to trip. I've had several mushroom trips. They go away. So this has to go the way that all those other ones went. And when I realized like the beautiful eye-opening fact that I don't know shit as I was looking into the ceiling and I saw nothing, I realized like this is the trap that people who are suicidal get into, is that they feel like they should know. They feel like they know something. Like
life should be different.
Life should go away. It should, and it's not going the way that I want it to. And so because of that, there is no point to any of this. There's a point, it's just not your point. There's a point to everything that's happening, but it has nothing, again, to do with you or who you think you are or how things should go. And so I think that the key ingredient missing from people that are suicidal is trust. That is the thing that is missing from their entire experience, is that they don't see a point to everything because they don't have one.
Well, I think it also is acceptance.
But I think
which kind of go hand in hand.
I think you have to trust in order to accept something.
And you have to accept something in order to trust.
Yeah.
Because if you're sitting there and you're like, my life looks like this and it's supposed to look like this, or maybe they don't even have a this. They just look at their life and they're like, that's not it.
Not what I want.
That's not what it should be. What's supposed to be what I want it to be. You're seeing an illusion. You're seeing your life as there's something wrong, or you are seeing a this, and that is an illusion. And accepting your reality. You can't trust your reality if you haven't accepted it. And I'm saying this and basically just repeating what you're saying because I feel like I really need to hear that. I feel like I can hear my background program being like, say that again. Integrate that knowledge. Yeah. So let's say it one more time.
Spit.
Accept your reality for what it is. See it for what it is. And then you gotta trust that you can see. Because I'm like, well, what if I'm still in an illusion? Dude, I fucking gaslight myself so hard. Oh man, but then even accepting that part of maybe I don't see the truth and I will accept that. I don't need to know.
That's what I think. That's what it is. Because again, it's like you're 22. You only know what the 22-year-old version of you has gone through. That's what I think about people that want to end their life, because I've been there. It's like with all the information that I've received up to this point, none of this has worked, and I haven't found a point. There hasn't been a reason for anything, and so there isn't one. It's like, no, I have to trust that maybe I don't know everything. The part of you that tells yourself to worry or that things should be going away. Maybe you have to accept that girl in your head doesn't, she is missing key components to everything. And if she had those pieces,
she's operating off of false information.
Yeah, literally. Or just not even all of the information. It's there could be a road in front of you, but if you don't believe it, then
you won't take it.
Exactly, because you're like, oh, come on. He's like, what? Yeah, I think it's trust. I think it's looking at the same thing through different lenses. Because for me,
I just thought of something. I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm not gonna forget it.
You sure?
Yeah.
You
And if I
say
do,
it.
then it's not important. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, for me, my issue is just trusting. It's trusting that I don't have the best story, even though like I think my story should go away. It's like maybe it's not going that way because that's a shitty story and you just don't know it. Like maybe there's a story that is a trillion times better than the one that you can imagine in your head, and so you're all upset because things aren't going your way. But there's a way for things to go that are infinitely better than the things that you know, the things that you want, the things that you want ways to go. So
Yeah, that is highly about trusting.
spit.
The reason I thought about it is because we were looking at Akuma and then I saw myself in the camera and I was like, I literally just don't look how I think I look. And then sometimes I'll have like a negative reaction to that, and that's kind of like body dysmorphia type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a reflection of what we're talking about. Like, I'm upset because I had a certain expectation of what I looked like in my mind, and then I saw myself and it wasn't what I was expecting. And so then it's like, I'm upset about it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
like, something's wrong. I'm like, not, this is exaggerating, but I'm like mad at myself, essentially. You know what I mean? That is kind of what we're talking about life. But if I were to just like accept that I look how I look and like I don't control that, I just look like this, then it's like, what are you mad about?
Yeah, literally.
What are you mad about, dude?
Literally. Just see, for me, I keep wanting to say trust it. Everything just comes, but that's my lesson that I'm trying to get from fucking life is like, I just have to trust it.
I am
know?
too. Like, I appreciate you bringing that up because that has been something that I have been consciously trying to do, but it's easy to forget it.
It's the point to forget it and then to learn
then
it.
to re-remember it.
And then be like, oh, you son of a bitch. You got me.
You son of a bitch. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, literally. It's what makes it fun. Imagine if we knew everything forever, always. It'd be like, oh, God.
That's the hide and seek.
Yeah.
When you finally see yourself again.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, there you are.
It's fun to lose
forgot
yourself.
we were playing a game.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And then every time that it happens, you get to like compare who you were and what you knew to who you are now and what you know.
You saw yourself.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, every single time I come back to find you, the game looks different because I've gone through different things that have changed the way that I view things, and my perspective is just always forever changing. And so it's kind of fun to like, it's like maybe in 5 years when you look in the camera, you'll see something completely different, you know, not just because you've aged, but because of your perspective, you know.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah.
It also makes it all worth it too when you see yourself again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right? See yourself. Like, for me, when I have done mushroom trips, that's when I've seen myself truly, like, so much clarity, no bullshit. Like, I see my soul, and it's like the most fucking beautiful, loving experience. I can't imagine a more beautiful experience. Like, that is the max beautiful that I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
And it's happened a few times, and every time I forget in between, right? And during that forgetting, call it a dark night of the soul type of feeling, it just feels like doom. Like what we talked about. Like, life is just, you know, me. And like, I'm never gonna get through this, nothing's ever gonna change. But then when I have that moment again of like, oh, I see you, and what you're saying, you realize how much you've changed, things are different, you've experienced different things, it makes that whole swing worth it.
Yeah.
It validates the entire swing.
Because you get like the full picture of everything.
Yeah.
And I see, again, it's like when you're suicidal or you feel like life isn't worth living, it's because you're in the middle of that swing, you know.
I'm in the middle right now.
And it just takes trust that there's
get
the rest of
to the other side of
to
the
the
swing.
other side.
It's funny, we can talk about it. I can talk about it, but I'm still in that swing.
Yeah.
I still feel that.
That makes me sad for people that do take their own lives, because it's like, that's the problem, is that nobody feels like when you're at the point where you want to die, there's no hope. It doesn't exist. It's not a thing. That other side of the swing isn't there. There's nothing to, it's like
You don't know
pitch black nothingness, you know, and it's not really like a trust. It's like it will be this way forever. That's how it feels. It's not like oh, this will go away, or if I just trust my hardest and I just keep going, things will get better. It's like they get so deep down in the swing that it becomes too much for the rebound, or what the rebound is there, but they
don't see it.
Yeah, they don't see it. Like, it's not that they don't see it, it doesn't exist for them. Who that person is at that moment, it's not a thing. It's not real. It's not tangible. It's never coming, because who you are at that moment is what you are infinitely
like they're
in that
creating
moment.
that reality?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Do you think that the swing comes, like if somebody feels that way, and that's just how it is going to be forever, do you think that swing will ever come to somebody from like, do you think that somebody has to do some kind of change internally to get that swing going, or do you think that there is some kind of, I don't know, like I have a friend that just, I mean a few people in my life that are just very hopeless, and they have been for years, and I'm curious, like, is there some kind of higher curve that's going to help them up out of this, or is it like, do they have to make the change, some kind of change internally to get that swing going again? And I don't expect you to have an answer.
No,
it's just thoughts.
Because I'm thinking about, I've been depressed. I've wanted to die all the time. And I'm thinking, what is it that got me out? What is it that helped me? Because it feels like nothing is going to save you. That's what it feels like all the time. And to a degree, I feel like that's true. Nothing's going to save you. Like,
well,
I don't think
you don't need to be saved. Like, that's, but you don't see it that way
exactly. It's like when you're there, it's like all there is hopelessness. So what the fuck do you do? Like, you know.
And I don't say that like in a bad way of like you're a victim. No, I just mean like that's how it feels.
That's the feeling.
You're a victim to life. You are. That's what it is. You're a victim to life.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think what changed my circumstances, because I feel like in the same way that you happen to life happens to you. And so I think change comes about when you are ready to receive information, when you're in a proper place and proper time. Like, I think you learn things when
you let life affect you.
Yes, but you have to be, it's like you have to be able to comprehend the information that's coming at you. It's the same way that you're saying,
we're like, talking in circles.
Yeah.
But refining.
Yes.
We're like understanding it more every time.
Yeah.
Keep going.
It's like when you meet the intersection of comprehension and like being in the right place, I think. Like, I think literally, I used to talk about this all the time. Like, there's a show on Cartoon Network. It was a live action show back when I was a kid called Hole in the Wall. And it's literally, do you know what that?
Yeah, I remember that.
It's that. It's like there's holes in the wall of life all the time. Right now we're in one. It's like it's like Just Dance. How the shit's going and you have to like match the characters. Yeah. We have to do that, but with where we are in present time. Yeah, so right now, exactly. Right now we're punching the hole in the wall of you crossing your arms and looking at me right there where you're supposed to be at this moment of time. Exactly. And me doing the same deal. And then us being in this moment at this time, exchanging our information, hitting exactly who you are and what you can comprehend is what you can take out of it. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like lots of times people have to hit that hole in the wall. When they're depressed, they have to be in the right place to receive the right sort of information. But I think that, again, that's like the bus driving itself. I think it's impossible to miss information that you're supposed to have at that moment in time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard because it's like you have to... Go ahead.
Well, like, I think that the answer is kind of what we were saying. Like, that is part of the bus driving itself. Because I was like, do you have to do something? Do you have to do something to get that swinging? Do you have to take the steering wheel? But it's like, this whole thing is part of you.
I think you have to you literally have to keep living.
That's all you.
That's it. It's like you just have to not die. If you don't die, it's inevitable. It's destiny. But then when people kill themselves, I think that's destined too. It's like that's the way that they're.
That's part of the bus.
I think that's just their story, and that's the way it's supposed to go. Like,
well,
so it makes it hard.
Yeah, but also, nature is all just reflecting itself. Like, think about other things in nature that happens. That things self-destruct. That happens in other organisms too. And we are literally just other organisms.
We think we're
we
so
just
special.
Like to talk about shit.
Yeah.
We like to make podcasts.
Yeah.
But like that happens.
Yeah.
Other things self-destruct too.
So maybe it's really not. It's hard to say that because we feel a way about it, but maybe it's not that big of a shame, you know, like.
That is such a dangerous thing to say out loud because of how much, like, how controversial of a topic it is. Like, I feel like you almost have to. I don't know what I'm saying, but I know what you're saying, and I've had those same thoughts. And when I have those thoughts, then there's like all the voices of like, that's awful, and I'm like, and maybe I'm just really depressed. Like maybe one day I'll look back and be like, oh, that is so awful. But I kind of feel similarly to you. It's kind of like it is what it is, and like life is okay. Life is life on the bigger scheme of things.
Again, there's like no way to fuck it up. I think even if you kill yourself, it's like, again, it just becomes destiny. That was the end of your story. That's how your story has always gone and forever will go. Like in that body, in that experience, it's like,
the soul of the world is still the soul of the world.
Yeah. Why is it such? It's hard. You're right. It is taboo.
Well,
you're not supposed to.
And there's a lot of shame around it too.
Yeah.
Like, I would not be surprised if in certain cultures, back, I don't know, ancient cultures, there was some kind of like where it was acceptable, and like if somebody was like, I'm okay, like I'm ready to go, I'm suffering so much, I don't want to be here anymore. I think they would probably have some kind of like respectful support system for that. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, I just feel like there's so much culture that we don't even have anymore that we don't understand. But I wouldn't be surprised.
I agree. I feel like people try to push death off like it's a terrible thing, but I think death is my opinion, death is the answer to life because it literally answers life. Like there's life and you're like, what's it for?
Call and return.
It is literally for the purpose of dying. It's the one thing all of us will do forever. There's like
call and respond. Sorry.
No.
Call and return. Anyway.
I thought it sounded.
I'm sorry.
No.
It's because it's like an actual thing that people say in music, but I just
really?
barely learned it, and so I'm like now seeing it everywhere. But anyway.
There's I don't know if this is true, but I heard this on a podcast. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that back in, I don't even know what ancient times is, what time period ancient times is.
That's what I was trying to struggle with too.
Yeah, but I heard that back then there used to be civilizations that would play some sort of game that was equivalent to. I heard that you've seen The Road to El Dorado, the cartoon.
I don't know if I've seen it. I know what you're talking about.
They play a game where it's like basketball and there's a hoop on the side that's like attached to the wall, and you're supposed to get it through that hoop but with your hip. So like the whole game is played with your hip. But anyway, I heard on a podcast, again, I cannot vouch for this because I don't know if it's true, but somebody said that back then when people would play that game, the winners would get to kill themselves because
I've heard of this game. It's like essentially soccer basketball.
Yeah.
Except for I didn't know that it was the winners that got to kill themselves.
Yeah,
I thought it was the losers that were put to death.
The thing is that everybody, when he said that, was like, "What? That's so fucked up." It's like, yeah, because we've been conditioned to think that death is such
That's
a
what
terrible,
I'm saying.
awful thing.
In other cultures, it's like there's a totally different understanding and perspective.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you do create your reality. And I feel like we here...
Yeah, I feel it's exactly how, you know, deep down our coding has shit crossed up because of our religion that we were brought up in.
But it's also just the world right now.
Yeah.
I think it's a reflection of humanity's fear of death.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's like people push it off. It's the same shit as your ego or the devil. Yeah, exactly.
Because we don't. Well, it's the ego.
But I don't even think that it's in us that. There you go. It's us that wants to exist.
Because the ego knows that it won't, and that's why people build like empires and legacies, and they want themselves to be permanent, and they want to be remembered, and that's just the ego, like not wanting to die and be unimportant anymore.
Exactly. I think that's all it is.
And like, my ego is like, take me.
Surrender, I surrender.
My ego's like, I'm good.
Yeah. Love that. Yeah, I really think that's what it is, because back then they had a different, they viewed death as much more valuable thing, I guess. It's the circle of life, and then people neglect that part of the circle of life. It's like, that part. Exactly. But I think people don't like it because it reminds them that it's going to happen to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear a lot about hunting, and lots of people don't like hunting, and they go, oh, animals this, animals that, you're not supposed to kill animals, this, that. But it's like the universe is literally devouring itself.
Killing each other all the time.
Yeah, it's like the circle, it's what's supposed to happen. And so I'll listen to podcasts of people talking about hunting. I've never gone hunting, but they always say that they try to be respectful, you know, and it's like, it's not a malicious thing. It's like...
Depends on the person.
Yeah, well, but I'm saying for, I don't know, you're going out there hunting...
For the sake of...
elk or deer, but no, to survive, to eat, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you just treat the thing with respect, you know what I'm saying? It's not about, yeah, fuck yeah,
it's
killed it, and then, exactly, and then you just fucking leave, you know, the dead body there, and you're like, I gotta kill. It's not about that. It's like...
Well, that's also, but that even in and of itself is also something that is repeated in nature. There are other creatures that do that.
Really?
Actually, maybe I'm full on lying to you. Maybe that's just a human thing. But no, I just barely learned about this. Yes, it's with wolves. There's like a sickness that happens within wolves. Maybe other things too, but I just learned this. Where they become feral and they start killing just to kill. And they don't eat their prey, and they don't...
Really?
And it's like a sickness that happens that affects them this way.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just barely learned this.
Interesting.
And so maybe that applies to humans too. Maybe it's like a mental
illness.
It's not like a mental illness.
Not a mental illness,
depression,
but an illness
but like,
itself.
Yes, yeah. Like an illness of humanity.
Yeah. I feel like that again just calls back to ego to me. It's like,
yeah,
so desperately wanting to exist and to be into control, into that, you know.
It's a triggered ego.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That goes into racism. That's how I feel about racism.
Explain.
That's how I feel about colonization, racism. I feel like it was just the biggest fucking ego trigger.
Dick measuring contest.
Of the whole race, of all of the people that colonized, and I guess I get mad about this, but I'm trying to just say it like eloquently. As like a macrocosm perspective, that was a big fucking ego trigger of that whole entire race of people. Just controlling and dominating this whole other race of people. Like, yeah.
Agreed.
But that's what we do to everything. Bugs, animals, plants, the earth.
Yeah.
Like, we just dominate the earth. We just take all the trees.
Because we're so important. Because we are not everything else.
Yeah.
You know.
And like, yeah, maybe a wolf on an individual wolf will get this kind of illness, and you know.
My God, it just becomes sentient and it understands what the fuck it's in or something like that.
No,
like,
I was meaning the one where it like kills.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what if like that illness is somehow it becomes conscious in the same way that humans become a person, and I'm no longer a part of life and a part of everything that happens, but I am Gregory. I'm this, thing
And
inside me that's separate from everything else,
But that by itself would not cause that.
You don't think so?
I don't think that consciousness, awareness of the self automatically means that you're going to go dominate everything. Because think about the cultures in the past that lived very peacefully and in tandem with Earth. Indigenous people.
Do you think that would be, like, you're saying not everybody that's conscious is going to go out there and kill people, but do you think that is a prerequisite for something like that?
No, not necessarily.
You think?
Because I don't think that it's necessarily that the wolf is thinking the same kind of in the same way that we are. I think that there's just
something's fucking
there's
broken.
Something, yeah, and I think that like maybe a wolf still has an ego, but it's different. Like maybe it's not different, maybe we don't know, but like it's not making podcasts.
Yeah. But what if that's his version of making podcasts? Do you get?
I kind of get what you're saying.
Like, to me, when I look at a Kuma or any other animal, I think the difference between them and us is the fact that they just do. They just are. Like, even if he has his own personality, yeah, I don't think... Well, I know animals can be anxious and stuff, but you get what I'm saying, where it's not like...
Well, there's not much they can do. Like, he's not gonna set up a tripod.
You think he would if he could? He's
no,
like, fuck, I gotta
Kuma
talk
would not
today.
give a fuck. Not that cat. Maybe a different cat, but not that cat.
Sets it up, he's like, meow, 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 meow.
But like, actually, I don't think any cats, but dogs. Dogs would make so many podcasts.
That's a good point.
Dogs would take over the world with podcasts. But we are talking about wolves.
Yeah.
Like.
Interesting.
It would be interesting to like research that and see if there's other animals that ever act in that way.
I wonder what there has to be. It can't just be wolves.
No, for sure that's not just wolves. Well, us. We are those animals.
Yeah, well, besides us, but
no, but
we're special.
Nature just repeats itself. I'm sure that it's all over, but
that just makes me think about serial killers and why I think about I like shit like that, and I'm like, what's broken in you? Like, what's the thing inside you that is switched off? That and is it just a genetic?
Off? What if it's just different?
What if it's turned on?
Oh my god! I don't know why I reacted that way. Oh my goodness. It's just wired different.
Yeah.
It's just wired different.
But is it wired wrong? I mean, to us.
But that's what we're talking about.
Okay, that's what I'm getting.
That's what we're talking about.
Like,
you're like, I know.
Well, I'm just saying what, back to what's right,
goes
what's
back
wrong.
to the suicide topic too.
Yeah.
Like, I do think inflicting pain on other people is pretty wrong. Like, but ultimately, if we're talking about the soul of the world, we're doing it to ourselves.
Facts. And it's a part of... Oh, I always forget you have that one.
I know. There's this one too.
Oh, I've never noticed that one.
Yeah, this one's more faint.
Is that in white or is it a different color?
It's just a white tattoo, but it kind of just fades into the skin.
Interesting.
Yeah. People ask if I like branded myself.
That's some serious branding. That's some fucking high quality branding if you branded yourself.
I wonder which one hurts worse. Probably the healing process of branding hurts worse.
My friend branded himself, and it's a huge bump on his arm. It wasn't even an insignia or anything. It was just a fucking...
Dang.
Yeah.
You're so funny. Look at how he's sitting.
Look, you're sitting just like Emily sits on the couch.
What?
Didn't you say that you perch on the side of
No, I literally sat like this. This is what I sat like. I sat like this on the arm rest of the couch, and I didn't even notice. I was so comfortable.
That's funny.
He's way more relaxed.
It's chill. You know why? Because I don't think he stresses about shit.
Because he doesn't give a fuck.
He just is. We gotta get more like you, Bubs.
No, cats are so freaking special. Cats are gods. I really do believe it.
You hear that, handsome?
Cats just know how to exist. And they know when to act and, like, do things like hunting and playing. They're good at playing. Cats are superior beings, in my opinion.
Damn, Bubs. I constantly think that... I feel like...
Wiser. Let me say that.
When you reincarnate, I think that you get exactly... I think you reincarnate to, like whatever he did in his past life earned him me, if that makes any sense. Like, whatever he was before this, however he acted, I am his, I don't want to say his punishment, but I'm his punishment and I'm his reward at the same time. You know what I'm
Consequence?
saying? Yes, there you go. That's the word I'm looking for.
Karma. So you're talking about karma?
Yeah. Essentially, yeah. And so I think however I treat him is however my next owner is going to end up treating me whenever I'm a cat or something like that.
I hope I was going to say, I hope I don't have an owner when I'm a cat, but
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe it'd be like a really...
Maybe it's a loving
beautiful
relationship.
bond.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi. He's so cute when he sits like that.
Alright.
My throat's tired.
Yeah.
My voice hurts.
Thank you for being on my podcast.
Thank you for having me as your
First guest.
Yep.
Fuck yeah. And it was beneficial. Okay, for reals this time, I love you.
I love you too.
There you go. Alright.